this is when you realize it's going to be a long night if you're a Wolves fan, Brou. It's a good thing you didn't guarantee it. And I know you said 10 toes down, but yesterday I learned there was a little bit of daylight between a guarantee and 10 toes down.
It's also when I texted my bookie a bunch of laughing emojis.
Oh.
Like, sucks for you, buddy.
You send emojis to your bookie?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Texans OTAs. CJ to Stefan. I think this will work, Brou. How about you?
Yeah, I think it'll work.
Wilds, when you were reviewing this tape,
absolutely.
Was there any time of them looking at his ankle and foot?
No, exactly.
Okay, I was just checking.
CJ takes his shoe off and grimaces. I know how worthy of a story. I'm on Hobble Watch. Weird. Astros Mariners. Look at this play. J.P. Crawford at shortstop for Seattle. Anytime you throw the ball with your glove, I just love it. Wasn't even double play. It's just a cool play. Astros win it though, 4-0. They're trying to get back on track. Wonderful Ant in the second quarter. Had to throw a little Ant highlight in here because if you want to go over to YouTube, I've supported Ant pre-draft.
Ant cooked Kevin Wilds in a multi-million-dollar ad campaign that is going to be on the show today.
Be huge.
Congrats, Wilds. That's awesome.
It's not awesome. I've supported Ant.
Well,
he's my
cool.
guy.
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got him from you.
28, 9, and 6.
Exactly, Brou.
Wonderful. Yankees in Anaheim. Aaron Judge, deep and gone. Home run number 18. Yankees win. They're 2 up on the Orioles. And then final wonderful Luka in the third. Hey, just the guy's going to throw alley-oops, okay? Watch out. It's just going to happen. No one's paying attention anymore. Rudy didn't let one Denver Nugget throw an alley-oop. Luka can throw 7 a game. It's weird and wonderful from national pastime. Head to Cincinnati. Check in on Tee Higgins, who isn't there. He hasn't signed his franchise tag tender and doesn't seem to appreciate the noise around it. On his Instagram, quoting Chicken Peas song Venting. I tell them no, and they can't wait to call me selfish. Now, I'll put my journalism cap on. I listened to all of Chicken Peas song. There's a chance that Tee Higgins just likes Chicken Pea and has nothing to do with this contract. There's a chance it lines up and it's an editorially appropriate response for his Instagram caption. Just putting it out there. Mr. Parkins is here from Chicago, where he did the Herd. You can check him out on the Herd. That was great.
That makes every member of First Things First and all our guests who've been on the Herd, with one exception.
Guy doesn't even work. He doesn't even work.
It was visiting. It was a great time.
It must be an issue in the season.
All right. Well, first of all, I wish you had those type of journalistic scruples when it went to, hourglass emojis LeBron posted. Who knows? That could be from a great book or not.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
Days of Our Lives.
Exactly. That's not how we did it then. Of course it's an issue. First of all, slow starts plague this team. I don't expect Tee Higgins to show up until days before the season because he has no reason to, because he hadn't signed his franchise tag. They can't find him. Also, I agree with Adam Schefter. Schefter said, and he got yelled at on TV about it, and I don't like being yelled at on TV, so I feel badly for Adam, which is odd because I do a lot of yelling. I apologize. Saying, of course, if Tee Higgins has something that normally he might fight through injury-wise, that it would be totally reasonable for him to say, I don't have financial security long-term locked in. Yep. That's not dogging it. That's not being unfair. That's being pragmatic when the team has refused to sign you to a deal, and I don't think he's risking anything in a world where Jerry Jeudy just got $50 million and Nico Collins just got $70 million and Calvin Ridley got $90 million. Tee Higgins is going to get paid. Yeah. So, yeah, I do think it is at least, it is definitely not nothing. It is something, and it could be a significant something.
I think it's as important as you, but it's something. There's no doubt. Now, he did say in April, I expect to play for the Bengals, and I'll be there and all that. But you're right. He could show up late, and with their slow starts, it could be a factor. And, look, he when he plays, he has to be great. If he ever wants a deal, right, whether it's from the Bengals or from some other team, you got to show you're going to be out there playing, especially with so many great wide receivers out there. So I think he does have to do that, but you're right. Does he play through the injury or when he's hurt but could play? Does he play through that or not? So it's something. I don't think it's as big as you, Nick, but it's definitely something.
I think also the history with the Bengals here is relevant. There is an expiration date here. If they give a guy a franchise tag, they don't sign him. Going back to 2013, it's happened 3 times. Jesse Bates, A.J. Green, and Michael Johnson. all three guys played for someone else the next year after the franchise tag. So, like, Cincy is not going to sign him to a contract extension, which might make him less likely because he will get paid to not be there. And people should remember how good this guy is because he was hurt last year. Missed 5 games due to injury. They won 2 of them. One was Arizona with Josh Dobbs, and one was the last game of the season when Cleveland was sitting everybody and Jake Browning was starting. Like, he absolutely matters to them this year. So if he's anything less than 100% bought in and committed, it's a huge deal.
It's also why, if I were one of the folks who years ago was saying should have drafted Penei Sewell over Jamar Chase, I'd be calling it a classic category 2 right now.
Oh.
Because the Bengals had Higgins, and he was already clear he was really good. And then they made the choice: are we going to double up on wide receiver, or are we going to try to protect Burrow? Right. They went wide receiver. If they didn't have Jamar Chase's contract hanging out there, they would simply sign Tee Higgins.
Yeah, they've done a lot of winning with both those guys, though.
Well,
and Chase is clearly better. So if you're you would have Higgins, but you wouldn't have Chase.
No, but you.
So maybe next year you have Chase, but you don't, or this year even, but you don't have.
Right,
Higgins.
but you're still continually searching for your franchise tackle year after year after year.
And
meanwhile,
Burrow's been hurt.
And Burrow's gotten hurt. That's
not just the line. He got hurt rolling out in practice.
No, well, that part's true too. Yeah.
And I don't know how he hurt his wrist. Right?
Elliot Wolf, why don't you give a shout to Cincinnati?
Well, that's the other thing.
We got cap space. What are we doing?
Cincinnati should have just bit a lot of culinary things today.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's just.
Speaking of, last time a rookie quarterback was on Hard Knocks, it was the Big Show in Cleveland. Well, now we've got another one. Guess what?
It worked out all right.
Did it though?
Yeah.
They got
that year.
Baker
Yeah.
that year.
Yeah, I know, but everybody said Baker was overexposed and ended up leaving.
Oh, in that part.
Hey, man. Now Caleb is going to be on Hard Knocks. Danny, you are our resident Chicago expert. Do you think this is good for Caleb or bad for Caleb? And Nick has the Bears going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that.
Yeah.
I see no argument that it is bad for Caleb Williams. I mean, Hard Knocks had a 13-year viewership high last year. Very successful season. 4.5 million people, roughly, per episode. This guy played in Hollywood. Week 2, Sunday Night Football. He's going to be playing in front of 20 million people. What, he's afraid of cameras and microphones? Like, he was built in a lab for the spotlight. He has Denzel Washington's cell phone number. Like, this guy is not going to be intimidated by cameras and microphones and, like, a Hard Knocks, like, Sports Illustrated cover jinx or something like that. Since 2009, 11 teams won more games after being on Hard Knocks. 2 won fewer, 2 won the same. Like, there's no adverse negative impact on being on the show. Now, I'm not saying there won't be weird things for the Bears, because they can be a little bit of a weird franchise. Their owner rides a scooter, and their coach has acronyms.
Whoa.
And just saying, it's a little weird for a billionaire to ride a scooter. It's a little strange.
Well, look,
their offensive coordinator is kind of a different guy, but for Caleb, he's going to be fine.
of the 21 teams that have been on Hard Knocks, only 7 made the playoffs. Now, you could say, well, that's the level of the teams, but still, only 1 has gotten to the conference finals, the Jets in 2010. So that's who you're latching
Get
your
a
wagon
damn
to.
snack guy.
Nick.
Well, okay,
All
I don't
But
think-
here,
go ahead, sorry.
Look, I don't think it's good for any team. And because it's not good for the Bears, I don't think it's good for Caleb. I don't think it's an unnatural environment when you got cameras around all the time. It just is. Some players will play to it because they want to show off or they want to build a brand or whatever. Some players will shy away from it, not be themselves. I wouldn't want cameras running around here all the time.
We literally do.
We do have some.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah.
But still, it's not all the like. I can't see how any coach would want this.
Well, that okay.
The question's about
And
Caleb.
because
Yeah.
but if it's not good for the Bears, it's not good for Caleb.
Oh, so I disagree.
I think it's terrible for these teams.
So, do you think that there are players on the team that like it, that like the
Yes.
exposure? Okay, then
but
that's
that
why,
doesn't mean it's good.
No, but that's why it's good.
Because some people want to show off.
Right, but that's why it's good for Caleb, because part of Caleb's slight curb he's going to have to get over is some guys in that locker room were Justin Fields guys. But now, before the season even starts, they are benefiting from being on Caleb Williams' team. Because they are now going to be more famous. They are now going to have a higher Q rating. They are now going to potentially, locally or nationally, be eligible for more endorsements and be more of an it team, which players like, which allows him to more immediately be the leader of the team. Also, Caleb, one of the benefits of NIL, in my opinion, is you get an idea of, okay, what's this guy going to act like when he's rich and famous before you draft him? Mm-hmm. Caleb has been rich and famous for the last few years. He's living in a penthouse in Los Angeles. He is used to these things. He is used to, as Danny said, Hollywood. And I think this is going to be something where the only person I think it's going to be bad for is me and my Bears Super Bowl pick, because that's not going to be as trendy anymore, because a lot of people are going to be on it. Because I think that you're going to see that this team, people are going to realize, oh, wait, this wasn't some awful team last year. That's not how they got Caleb, which I know we talked about. I think that the average fan doesn't realize they won 7 games. And that this team is going to be good and exciting, and Caleb's a charismatic guy. I don't know why it would. The only people to me it's ever been bad for are coaches that look bad. But not every coach has looked bad on Hard Knocks.
It's also pretty sanitized now. I mean, it is an NFL production. Teams do have a say in what comes out. Wasn't the last big scandal from Hard Knocks?
It doesn't have to be a scandal. There's a reason some things are on the record and some things are off the record.
But this
because
is all
people
off the record.
act naturally off the record. And I'm saying when you got cameras around,